you had a good session at mentorship and also a good tea break, and I hope the others missing here will also keep coming in as the session starts. And I think the session will, I'm quite sure we'll probably bring the people here, considering the sound effects that you'll probably hear over the talk. And that's probably the preview to the session. The next speaker is Dr. Scalable Systems that work around the world. She's been at IIT Bombay, Penn State University, led large initiatives that led to research in Bangalore. And from what I could see during their testing in the last few minutes or so,
to define media experiences and make them more intelligent, and data, AI and machine learning plays a key role in that. So before I dive in, I wanted to also share a little bit about why I personally care about this problem. And I thought I'll put together a very quick journey on how I got to be where I am. So very fortunate to start my journey at IIT Bombay with foundations in data, machine learning and AI. And I was one of the lucky ones who in 2004 took Professor Pushpak Bhattacharya's AI intelligence course. So that was how it started. Quickly, after finishing my master's, I moved to Yahoo Labs, and I realized that even though the problems may be similar, you may be talking about object detection, tagging, contextual search, it's a very different beast when you think about global scale. And so definitely data set and AI infrastructure scaling became core themes of what I was doing. I realized this one very crucial thing, that yes, algorithms matter, yes, systems matter, but what are experiences, how we train these models on the cloud, and then optimize them for edge devices. So cloud to edge efficiency and AI acceleration is a theme that you will commonly hear when you talk to my group in Bangalore. Okay, so the way I've organized, I'm going to be a guide, I'm going to take you on a journey which tells us how media has evolved from broadcast to intelligent experiences. I'll start with a brief introduction to Dolby and then talk about some of the research areas that involve data, AI and machine learning. And then there's a pitch about how there's some problems which are not yet defined and that we need strong collaboration across industry and academia to take to the next level. Okay. So I'm going to start with the beginning. Of course, there's a very strong, Dolby has a very interesting connection to India. So Ray Dolby, he's the founder of Dolby. He founded Dolby in 1965. But after finishing his PhD in physics from Cambridge, he actually came to India, where he was a technical advisor to UN. And he became very interested in learning about Indian and recording Indian classical music, folk music. And when he played it back, he was irritated by the analog tape recorder noise. And so he started thinking a lot about noise reduction technology. And over the course of, after founding Dolby, that's where much of the efforts went in. Dolby now has, of course, scaled significantly. We are 2,300 people worldwide, and these are distributed in 20 countries and over 30 cities. So you see on this graph, there are some purple dots which indicate where the research happens. So we are headquartered in San Francisco. But the Bangalore site is something that's coming up rapidly, and I'll talk a little bit about that. So the Advanced Technology Group in Bangalore is a new R&D growth hub. And the first employee started in 2023. I myself started last year, and we are now 25 PhD researchers who are essentially looking at media AI. There are 3 or 4 key areas where we focus on. So areas on video processing in 3D, multimodal and foundational AI. And my group focuses on experience delivery, building the data platform in AI services. We recruit from the top universities in and outside of India, as many of them are here, and you'll meet them in our booth if you stop by. Okay, so very quickly, what type of experiences? So you probably have seen this slide before. But our purpose is to unlock the power of sight and sound in the pursuit of awe-inspiring experiences that transform how we connect with each other and the world around. We have three products that are like most commonly known. So Dolby Atmos, Dolby Vision, and Cinema. So Dolby Atmos is a suite of spatial audio rendering technologies, and it treats sound not as discrete speaker feeds, but it actually treats them as audio objects which has spatial metadata. And so depending on where you play, your TV could render audio in 2 channels, your home theater could be 16 channels, and in immersive theaters it could be 128 channel cinema. So you can experience that in an immersive fashion. Dolby Vision is the high dynamic range, so it offers much wider range of light and color than the standard methods, and that makes the bright highlights brighter and dark shadows deeper and colors more vivid compared to the standard dynamic range. And these technologies come together in Dolby Cinema. So even though there are 3 technologies, actually these being content creators, distributors, and experience deliverers, so which is like endpoints or countless devices. So we work with studios such as Netflix, Lionsgate, HBO to create content, encode it, post-produce, and then stream them. And then in terms of endpoints, there's just like you won't even realize, but Dolby, you have your phone, your earbud, your smart glasses, your cars, so they're all on either already on Dolby technology or on the way there. A little bit of promotional slide in the sense that Dolby has been very widely used in creating content across myriads of categories and genres of TV, movies, sports, games, music, and podcast. And it's also very widely, it's beloved, and some of the most popular award-winning content is produced in Dolby Vision and or Dolby Atmos. Okay, so now we start to get into the technology part. So what do we do? So I think Dolby has amassed a large number of patents, over 12,000 patents, and 15 MEs. Some of these are technical MEs, so our VPs and our directors who work on site who sound experiences, they themselves are a recipient of bringing new type of technology to this field. And in that process, we also have started publishing more significantly, more so in the recent years. So there are over 100 papers published in top venues in this by this advanced technology group, which is worldwide is 250, and now we are 25 in Bangalore. Some of the top conferences and journals across all areas of data, AI, and ML. Okay. So that was my brief introduction to what Dolby do. Hopefully I've done a little bit of some job to tell us that it's not just sound, but we have more breadth. And now I'm going to talk about some of the research areas where we focus our efforts. So internally, Dolby Advanced Technology Group is organized as 4 labs. So sound experiences and sight experiences, those are more established. They have more decades in them. So they focus on audio capture and rendering, coding, and now deep learning for audio applications. Similarly, on the sight experiences side, there's a lot of work on video compression, restoration, enhancement, 3D, and volumetric experiences. Multimodal Experiences Lab focuses on human and machine perception and reasoning, psychophysics, elements of multimodal representation, processing, and generative AI. And Experience Lab, this is just 2 years old, that focuses on building a data platform and AI infrastructure where we can start training these models. So traditionally we have a lot of, there was a talk yesterday about data and AI platforms, but those necessarily don't work for audiovisual content and immersive content, where you have a lot of different elements than the traditional types of data sets, structured data sets. So we are trying to develop, make some innovations there, both on the server side and also deploying and compressing and optimizing those models for edge. We are also interested in a lot of media delivery formats. So in the next 5 minutes or so, what I've done is I've taken sample research problems from all these 4 labs to show you the breadth. So let's look at sound. The top row will show some of the areas we work in, but here I'm only focusing on deep learning for audio applications. Source separation is something that we've been doing for many years now. So here we are now bringing deep learning for source separation, which takes a mixture of sound and you put it through a network, and you can separate dialogue, music, effects. We are also looking at how, if you have other additional modalities available, for example, if you have, the second example shows, that if you have an image and if you kind of do object detection, classification, then the joint analysis also gives powerful insight into source separation and enhancement. And then finally, generative audio is also very hot and upcoming area for content creation, gaming, and XR. So this is one area. I know like some of you have been asking us for sound research, and we are happy to like discuss any potential collaborations in this space. Okay, the next example is from our site experiences. So Dolby has a lot of work traditionally on, of course, the HDR vision, image capture research, video processing, and restoration, and so on. It does also a lot of work in codecs and compression. And this particular work, it talks about ultra low bitrate generative codec. GFVC, this is actually one of our recent work. This is done by a researcher in Bangalore. It's been accepted into standard. We do publish a lot of work into MPEG standards and codecs. And this was also, it also won the best industry paper award at ICIP 2025. So we're very proud of this work. There's work around volumetric processing. We have good talent that is looking into 3D scene representation, volumetric capture, head-mounted displays, NERF, Gaussian splats, multi-view image rendering in those areas. That's not my area, but we have an expert at our booth. So if you want to learn more, please join us. Okay. Multimodal area. I think multimodality, I think there's a lot of promise. There's a lot of different type of data sets that we could collect, and that will give rise to different types of problem statements. So the one area is on human-computer interfaces and human sensing. So we do research in capturing user behavior using camera and microphones, and that helps you to quantify gestures, pose, quantify user emotion and engagement. And of course, once you have that, you can think about creating closed-loop interactive and personalized experiences. These would have to be run on edge devices or happen in some sort of like federated setting if you have privacy concerns. We can take this learning and then go to the second area, which is the multimodal neuroscience and perception. So we have a team that that looks into neuroscience areas and physiological signals to perform subjective assessment of user consuming multimodal content. There's a lot of analysis of EEG recording and analysis of auditory and visual perceptual studies. So what this particular example shows is that once you're fitted, in this particular experiment, they were trying to understand how Dolby Vision affects users. So water looks wet and fire looks warm. So in this case, what they noticed is that when the users are looking into Dolby Vision, a fire scene, the face actually gets warmer, right? So those are like very interesting signals for us. Of course, because this is a subjective study, we can't really scale it, but we are actually looking into areas by which we can train machine learning models to come up with objective assessment or approximation to subjective evaluation. And these are the type of models that we put into wearables and physiological sensing. So there is some work into measuring and analyzing physiological data for entertainment experiences at the edge. Okay, also a lot of work in the standard multimodal analysis, enhancement, generative AI, and representation. So here we're trying to also this can also be useful for creating professional tools. For example, there was if you're shooting a movie, heading next. So the shift towards intelligent media features. So I put together a slide which shows how media itself has evolved from broadcast to future. So some of you, I don't know, many students may not remember or were not there probably at this time, but I remember pre-90s, around 87, 88, Ramayana was a big phenomenon across all of India. It's people at, I think, 9 or 10 a.m. in the morning. Everybody would drop everything that they had and they would be glued to front of television, because if they miss that time slot, they're not gonna see it again. So in the pre-broadcast era, your experience was defined by the broadcaster. It was same content that was broadcast everywhere. It was fixed schedule and no rewind, no personalization. Afterwards, as content, audio, video became more digital, we had more content. It's going to be interactive, it's going to be non-linear, captured through multiple views and experience through multiple devices, or plurality of devices. You might have your video or smart glasses, you have something, even people who are traveling in car, right? There are 4 people, 4 passengers. So you may, right now, everybody experiences the same experience creation and agents, where a focus could be building intelligent, interactive experiences. And I put in a sample problem, so it could be around generating rich multimodal scenes for AR, VR, film, or sports. You could also design agentic characters that observe, reason, and act in immersive narratives. Another track for collaboration could be on semantic, affective, or cultural adaptation, because entertainment is produced everywhere, but they may not resonate similarly to global audiences. So adapting media and entertainment content, like movies or music, to the needs of regional audiences, and using that through linguistic, cultural, or emotional resonance could be a very big area. So here the sample problems could be on cross-lingual speech synthesis, dubbing, lip sync with emotion-preserving voices, audio-video content restoration, enhancement. I would love, like if my kid can enjoy shows like Ramayana or Bharat Ekho the same way, the same impact it had on me. But of course not one. So it needs some kind of adaptation of old content to new content, also like bringing some of the Western media to Indian content. It could be a very interesting problem, and I think it could be a problem that is very appealing to this IndoML community. So we could also look into this kind of culture-aware editing, policy-preserving editing, at the same time looking at protecting the original signature or rights of the content creator. We have some people here who are looking at mechanistic interpretability, for example. So that also is an area that could be relevant. Third track is on real-time distribution and edge adaptation. I think I've said it enough. But scaling entertainment AI on consumer devices and networks. So there are a lot of sample problems on low latency inference for audio video enhancement, adaptive playback, multi-device synchronization, and RL. So, and finally, like the 4th track is on core foundations for spatial understanding, media and entertainment. So here we are looking into multimodal reasoning, cross-modal embeddings. There's a lot of work happening in the group on graph-based scene representation, so scene graph, temporal scene graph, there's some active collaborations, and also on scaling-based algorithms through distributed training, lineage, and simulation. So I've talked about these sample problems, and now I'll talk about what are the ways you can get involved. So there are 3 ways. The first one is the Greenfield PhD internship program. It's very popular in the US. We've started to institute that in India. So here we want PhD candidates to come and spend 3 months with us on a problem of, in one of these focus areas, but the problem of their choice. And it can usually lead to a publication and also be part of their thesis. So it's very popular. And in the process, we learn something in return. The second area is faculty research collaborations. So Dolby has an annual call for proposal, where interested faculty can submit a brief research proposal, and we have Dolby researchers and faculty collaborating on that. And usually, like a paper, like it's given as a gift funding, but it's a very healthy collaboration where, again, I think the purpose is to develop the state of the art and the future of media experiences. We have 5 strategic partners in the US, University of Massachusetts Amherst, UMB, USC, Georgia Tech, and Northwestern. We've launched this program in India this year, and we've started some collaboration with ID Bombay, ID Kanpur, and ID Madras. So the next round of call for proposal is due in March. So if you're interested, we would love to partner with you and collaborate with you and help shape the proposal. And then the third piece that we work on is industry academia events. So these are kind of mini summits, like 30-40 people. It usually happens in headquarters. We would love to start something in India, where we bring together industry and academia leaders to talk about specific topics and initiate new collaborations. So some of the recent examples, in the last 3 years, there was a Future of Cinema Summit, Future of Learning Summit, and Smart Realities, which focuses on more of smart glasses and XR. So if you're interested to know more, please visit our booth. We are happy to chat with you. We are here tomorrow as well, and you can always reach us offline through any other thing. So with that, I come to the conclusion side. I have a video to play right after this, but we continue to play, build the future of entertainment together. So maybe it's a 2-minute video, if I have time. Okay. Let me see. Okay, there it is. The video.
You have something inside of you, you hear it and you feel it in a certain way. So to be able to have the tools with which to actually fully realize it the way you envision it inside, that's heaven for an artist.
We wanted the tools that would indicate that epicness, and Dolby lent it that power. It's like a whole new experience.
When I first saw the Atmos on the console, I was very excited because it's something that I've always thought would be
a game. We want to give our audiences the next best option. It really will feel like you're at the game. It's a completely different experience.
you know, that best quality, so you feel it to the fullest extent. You don't just...
Dolby Technologies offer opportunities and inspiration for stories that couldn't have been told before.
It's as if we've been saying, really transported me to that atmosphere, to that place.
I remember when we first got into a suite and started grading, we just couldn't believe the results. The image becomes...
You can hear everything, and you can hear everything in different spaces.
So for you to be able to experience it that way elevates the story and where I want to put the viewer. And without that technology, you just don't have the same experience.
Thank you. That's the end of my presentation. We are a team of 5. Sorry, this one. Just quickly stop. I don't know if I have time for question answers. I can also take them later. No worries.